Well, we have arrived back in Paris for Easter weekend.
Excuse me, who told you to film me?
Oh, he doesn't want to be filmed this morning, it's too early. So we got the same flight as the last time, so we're up at 3:30 and we're going to our hotel. So we will see you when we get there. Just arrived at the hotel. We can check in shortly in about 1 hour, so we're just in the lounge here having a coffee.
Good morning. We're having a coffee now. The first things first.
We're desperate for a coffee. You can never get good coffee in the airport, so we're having a lovely coffee, checking into our room, and it's so lovely to be back in Paris. And the hotel that we're staying at, Hotel Splendid Royal, this used to be the home of Pierre Cardin. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna have a look around more later on, but yeah, we're here now and we're happy to be back in Paris. So we are in the room now, but we've got two choices. We can have the 5th floor, which we're in currently, which has a view of the Eiffel Tower, but it's smaller, or we have the 1st floor, which is bigger. So we're thinking of going for the 1st floor because it's slightly bigger. We need a little bit more space, and we had a view of the Eiffel Tower last week. So I'm going to quickly show you this room before we vacate. What are you doing, Nathan? Very sweet room. I hate it when the lights flicker like that. And the lovely view out here. Look at this very sweet scene. And there she is. The weather is a lot different this time, cloudy, but still stunning in Paris. There are only 12 rooms in this hotel, so it's very boutique, but sumptuous, elegant, and has every comfort that you need. So it's our first evening in Paris. It's 8:15. We're just going down to the hotel for dinner, and then because it's Saturday night, we might go out for some drinks and a little bit of a party. We're going to see if some of our friends are around, our Parisian friends. So yeah, Saturday night in Paris. See what the night brings. Dinner at the hotel was a real treat. We had a 7-course tasting menu with paired wines, and it was just so delicious. This lemon pasta was probably the best thing I've ever eaten. For pudding, we had some cannoli, and the rest of the evening we decided to stay in because we were tired, but look at this beautiful view of the Eiffel Tower. So we did move to the larger suite on the 4th floor. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you this. This is a lovely suite. And here we are. So the difference is that you have this separate living area. You still have a little, it's like a Juliet balcony, so there's no, you can't walk out onto it, but the doors do open and you can see the Eiffel Tower. Quite elegant. A desk. Everything traditional. Got a little Easter egg here. And all the boiserie. And then in here is the bedroom. Lovely French windows. And then through here is the dressing room. Quite a large space. And the bathroom. A really lovely suite, actually. Nice and spacious. Lots of room to get ready, lots of storage. You can see in here. And if we go outside, Oh, I also love these cabinets with the painted bows. Quite a chic view of Paris. So, we are having a lovely time in Paris. Haven't really filmed as much as last time because this is kind of mine and Nathan's holiday together for Easter. So we wanted to kind of just enjoy ourselves and not have to worry about working too hard. But we're having a great time, just having a walk. We've had coffee with our friend this morning in her apartment in Paris. And that was really lovely. So it kind of give us an idea of what life would be like if we lived here. Yeah, it's been really lovely, and we're going to do some more fun things today. We headed to the Carnavalet Museum. This was recommended by a friend. Just look at this secret garden. This is so beautiful and a real treat if you're ever in Paris. But this was one of the best museums that I've ever been to. It just had so many interesting things to look at. A lot of people, so it was hard to film. But yeah, a beautiful museum indeed. And then we decided to go for a little walk before heading to lunch at Allard restaurant. This was a very French thing to do. We had a beautiful glass of champagne to begin, rosé, and the most delicious dessert which I'm going to recreate this week on YouTube. But this was a bundt cake with a rum over the top, served with chantilly cream, and it was just heavenly. So I definitely want to recreate that very, very soon. We then headed to Hotel de la Marine. Again, another incredible museum. In Paris, these museums are just endless, and as you can see, they're just filled with incredible interiors, beautiful objects, just a feast for the eyes. I said the last one was my favourite, but actually I think this one is. But to be honest, there's just so many in Paris that you just can't go wrong. Everything is just incredibly beautiful. It's our last day in Paris, and we are having a lovely lunch at Guy Martin, Maison Guy Martin here at the Palais Royal. So it's lovely, it's a lovely day, and it's so beautiful here. So, I'm home from Paris after a lovely, lovely trip with Nathan. As I mentioned on the video, we went for Easter, and I normally spend it with my family, but they were kind of taking it easy because they were going on holiday the next week. So I decided to just do my own thing in Paris this year, and it was lovely. It was a lovely change. Nathan and I had the best time again, and it was lovely to be able to go there without any work commitments and just enjoy and trying to imagine what it would be like to live there. So we did go and view 2 apartments, 2 fully furnished, short-term let apartments, just to see what was available in our budget. We weren't allowed to film that, obviously, so I couldn't, but I wanted to let you know that's what we did, because I think it is important when you're thinking about moving to a new place to see what the possibilities are and what you can get for your buck. So we are combining our budgets together. We would like a 2, possibly 3, if the budget allows, bedroom apartment, fully furnished in probably the 6th, 7th or 8th arrondissement, but we're not really that fussy in terms of location as long as it's very pretty. We did go, and someone told us about a area called, I think it was Passy, and we went walking around there, which was really, really beautiful, very leafy, but I just felt like it was too local. There were lots of Parisians, families with children, lots of children and families. And I just thought, if we don't speak French, even though we're going to learn, it's probably not the best place to live, because you need somewhere that's perhaps a little bit more expat vibe, a bit more upbeat, not so family focused and leafy. But one of the most amazing things that happened, we were just walking along this random street and I recognised Lenny Kravitz's house. I'd seen it on Architectural Digest about 3 weeks ago, and I just thought, wow, this looks familiar. And then Nathan was the one who realised, oh my god, it's Lenny Kravitz's house. And it was in the most beautiful place, and a really, really beautiful house. If you haven't seen that house tour on AD, do check it out, because it is really, really beautiful. But yes, a lovely weekend in Paris. We actually met up with one of my friends who is a jewellery designer, Guy Baruch. I met up with him, we had lunch together, and then Nathan and I went out with some of his friends, him and some of his friends, on Sunday evening, which was fun. Then we met up with Nathan's friend, Georgiana Lane. I'd never met her before, but she is the sweetest lady. She's American. She's been living in Paris for many years with her husband, and Georgiana is an author of books. In fact, she gifted me a book that I'm going to show you because it's really beautiful. She's a photographer, and her focus is on flowers, and she's written a number of best-selling books all about flowers. So we met at her apartment, which was in Saint-Germain, and it is my dream apartment, and she gave us a tour. Big apartment. She's got a drawing room, a dining room, a big kitchen, and 2 bedrooms. But all the floors were wooden parquet flooring, lovely floor-to-ceiling windows with balcony, beautiful fireplaces, panelling, just what you imagine when you think of a Paris apartment. So yeah, it was lovely to go and spend time with a few people and just kind of imagine a life in Paris if you live there. And so I think viewing the apartment Nathan and I went to see, seeing his friend Georgiana, meeting up with my friend Guy, just made it feel more real and like we could actually have a life there. And then on, I can't remember which evening, but Nathan, I think it was our last evening in Paris, so Monday night, Nathan and I went to a restaurant called Lafayette. Apologies, someone came to the door, so I was losing my train of thought as I could see them coming down the stairs. So I was saying that Nathan and I went to a restaurant called Lafayette, which is probably the most beautiful, exquisite restaurant I've ever been to in terms of the decor and the setting. It's in this beautiful old Parisian mansion, and you walk in and there's little 4 steps with this beautiful carpet, like a Turkish carpet, and then this curved wooden French door, and you go in and it's all dark, lit by candlelight, tablecloths, old school, but a cool vibe, and every table was full. It was intimate, it felt sexy and beautiful, and it was just, I thought, wow, it doesn't matter what the food tastes like here, the setting is 10 out of 10. So we sat down and we started having drinks and food, and then at the table next to us there were this man and woman, and I assumed that maybe they were a couple, but then we started to chat to them, and the man, who is also called Nicolas, has been living in Paris for 20 years, and his sister was sat opposite. She was called Maria, and they were both Cypriot, so she was visiting him in Paris. And we just started talking to them, and we ended up spending like 3 hours having drinks, laughing, joking, just having the best time. And it just, you know, when you meet 2 people and you just click with them, it was like that. So we have some new friends in Paris, and it's so nice to think that if we ever do live there, or if we ever just want to go back to visit, we've got a little network now. And I think that is one of the most important things to think about when you're moving, is that are you going to make a life there? And it's one of the things that I struggled with when I moved to Edinburgh with my ex-partner. He wanted to live here, I didn't. And I just couldn't imagine having a network of friends here, and for the first few months I didn't. But it just takes a little bit of effort. You know, it can be just one person you meet who transforms your life and introduces you to more people, and then the ball starts to get rolling. But yeah, it was a great thing in Paris. It just felt like we were being given a sign to say, if you do move, it's going to be fine, and you're going to meet lots of people and have a wonderful life. So it was just a lovely experience, just to feel like, yes, we could move to Paris and it could turn out to be really, really great. So yeah, it was a very valuable exercise to go back, even though it'd only been the week before. It felt very different. It felt more like living in Paris rather than visiting for a holiday or for work. So it was very, very useful, and we both left feeling quite sad to be leaving. But yes, I'm back now, and I've got Sophie and Peggy with me. I've got Peggy for the rest of this week. I'm taking her down to Staffordshire at the weekend, and I'm going to drop her off at Nathan's mum, and she's going to have Sophie as well because it's my brother's wedding, so he's getting married this weekend, and we're going to be out all day and night. So I just thought if Nathan's mum can have Sophie and Peggy, that would be a great help. So that is the plan. But in terms of moving to Paris, we are thinking of September, October, November, 3 months with Sophie and Peggy. So we've got a few months now just to get everything organised and to plan. So we're not rushing into anything, but I think September, October, November would be the perfect time. Late summer, going into autumn, a nice vibe in Paris. So yeah, it's been exciting. But it is lovely to be back home in Edinburgh. We've got the most glorious weather this week. It's been beautiful, and everything's blooming and blossoming, so it's been really, really lovely. So it's lovely to be here, but also to have my eye on Paris as well. So I thought that I would show you Georgiana's book. It's called Paris in Bloom. This is one of her books. I think this might have been her first book that she released, and this was a bestseller. And she wrote a lovely note inside for me with her lovely handwriting. To dear Nicholas, such an auspicious meeting, and here's to many more in Paris. With love, Georgiana. Very sweet. And then when you open the cover of the book, one of the first pictures is just so beautiful of a lovely lantern in Paris. But this book is filled with beautiful images of all flowers in Paris, in hotels, restaurants, in gardens, and it's just such a lovely thing to have because someone who loves flowers like me, and I know that you all do too, it's just nice to know that in Paris you can find flowers everywhere throughout all the different seasons. Look at these peonies in here. So yeah, this was a lovely gift from Georgiana, a plant shop with all beautiful plants. And she really was just such a lovely, lovely person. I mean, I love Americans anyway. I find Americans very warm, and it's very easy to become friends with them because they're so open. But she was particularly lovely. She was very tactile, hugging, and I like that. I like that about people who feel comfortable doing that. So it was lovely to meet her. A new friend in Paris. She's been friends with Nathan for many years. They worked on a book launch together, I believe. So it was lovely to go to her apartment, to see a real-life apartment in Paris where someone's been living for a while. I'm just looking through this now. Quite sweet. So yeah, that is her book. I will link this and her other ones in the description box here. This is not an ad, but I just think that you would enjoy these books. So I like to share what I think you will enjoy. So this week I'm quite busy. I've been doing a lot of work. I've had meetings. I've been filming with my videographer Dan. I've decided that I'm going to relaunch my Instagram to be more of what I used to do in the beginning, which was recipes, creating beautiful videos. So I thought if I'm going to do that, I need professional help because it's very difficult to film on your own. I can do it for YouTube because I have the tripod, and I like this style of being more personal and personable, but with Reels I want to create something special. So I've been working with the videographer this week, Dan, who came to Paris as well, and we're starting to create content for Instagram. So I've been doing that. I've had a few exciting meetings. Nathan and I are planning the launch party for our podcast. It's going to be here in Edinburgh. So we're just trying to organise press, friends, some local people who would enjoy seeing that. So it's all very busy but exciting. I love this time of year. I just come to life. So yeah, that is my little catch up. I hope that you are all doing really well. It's great to be here and to share with you all. And I look forward to seeing you next time. But until then, take care.